Hi, this is Carrie with Active Self Protection and the Active Self Protection Extra channel. I today have Mr. Mike Willever with us, and he is as you know, he's from the Ask Podcast. He's our F cubed. You're so much better than squared. You're cubed, our favorite former
Yeah.
Fed. And today I thought it would be fun to ask you our instructor insider questions. So we'll do that when we come back.
Okay. Download the ASP Unlimited app for all the content you love from active self-protection and more with no interference from YouTube. No ads, no age gates, exclusive videos, seminars, classes, and more on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Android TV. Hit the link in the description or download ASP Unlimited from your app store today.
Welcome back. All right, Mr. Mike, the first instructor insider question for you is what was your first gun and what is your current favorite gun?
Okay, that's interesting. So I would ask, do you want to know my first personal use gun or my first issued gun or both?
Uh, Whatever you would like to share with us. I'd love to know
Yeah, I
both.
think I think the most interesting gun, because it's so weird, was my first gun as a federal agent. I carried a 357 Model 60 Smith& and Wesson stick shot with fantastic gun with two Safari quick speed loaders on my belt. I was a young lad back then at the beach, killing it, by the way. And then when I joined the feds, I carried the first gun I got was a Beretta Brigadier 96D. And it was a double action
Oh,
Kellerman trigger that was hot garbage. Everything about that gun was terrible. It was based on the old M9, so the
okay.
gun the military carried for years and
Yeah.
years. Everyone can kind of picture the
Yeah.
silhouette of that thing. So it was a 40 cal with a DAK trigger. It was enormous. I mean, the thing was enormous. It was like a baby Desert Eagle, and they only managed to fit 11 rounds of 40 cal into the magazine.
No. No.
True story. And it was the only gun you could carry for the whole agency. So there was it was Immigration Naturalization Service. There was Border Patrol and Immigration Customs at the border, and it didn't matter if you were Carrie Dudenhofer sized special agent. You had to have this giant thing that was very hard to conceal, and that lasted for a long time. That was not a great experience. My current favorite gun and my current EDC is a HK USP. Excuse me, USP. I carry USP on the job. Excuse me, an HK VP9 SK. And it's just a fantastic little gun. It just fits the hand nicely. It's so easy to shoot. I'm now, I always had button mag releases on
Yeah.
duty, and the paddle's not a big transition. I thought it was going to be a pain. After a couple of times to the range and some dry fire, you're used to it. It's not a big deal. So yeah, I don't foresee changing everyday carry guns anytime soon unless HK comes out with something even better.
Yeah. That's good stuff. I have my dad's Smith and Wesson stainless six shot revolver that was his duty for when he retired. He gave it
I
to me,
said
which is pretty
60.
cool.
I can't remember if it was a 60 or 65. It was one of those two, but it was a great gun.
All right. Currently, what are you enjoying most about the work you're doing with ASP?
Oh, there's a lot of things. That's really to pick one thing is really difficult, and I'm not just saying that because I know Stephanie watches these. Um, that I enjoy. I listen. I adore everyone I work with, which is not the way it was at my last job. We just have a great culture at ASP, and it's so nice to, for example, go on a business trip with like four other dudes, and everyone isn't running out to go to the bar to cheat on their wife on night one. That's a big deal to me. That means a lot.
Yep.
And just the culture they've created and the way that now means that the people that are writing in to be on the show, I don't get nuts. I don't get crazy people for the
Right.
most part. I get really it's people who are like, I don't know if my story is good enough, but maybe it is. But they're all very well intentioned. There's very little fuddery going on with these folks. I mean, there's always one in every crowd, but I like the culture here as far as what I get to do. Stuff like this. I'm working right now, but I'm hanging out with my good friend Carrie and having a conversation that we would have if the cameras weren't on, potentially.
Right.
So it's all
Right.
very natural and organic, and I love my job.
Yeah. Me too. That's a good answer. I didn't know Miss Steph watched these. I better be careful from now on. She is the
I mean,
boss after
she's
all.
she's everywhere. She's always watching.
She's smart too. That's the biggest problem. You can't get away with
I
anything.
know.
All right.
I know.
What is
Yeah, I used to
one
work for
helpful
government
hint?
employees, so
Okay.
now it's a whole different thing working for an actual smart person. Anyway, moving on.
Hopefully, your prior bosses aren't watching this. What is one
That
helpful piece of advice that you can share with instructors just starting out?
Oh, that's an easy one. Know that you don't know everything, and be upfront with your students. You don't know everything, so I would open with, "Hey, I'm a newer instructor, so I hope to learn as much from you as you learned from me today. There really are no dumb questions. Ask me anything you want, and if I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. I will not make something up, and I will go find someone who does know, and I will get back to you." Because a lot of new instructors feel like they're under a microscope, and everyone's looking at them funny, and you have this sort of anxiety and this insecurity. Listen, go out there and teach what you know. You're going to learn more along the way, and eventually you're going to be a really knowledgeable instructor. Everyone's got to start somewhere, so start where you are, be comfortable in your own skin, and admit that you don't know everything. And just those things by themselves will so vastly improve your career as an instructor over time. And eventually,
That's good
you're going to be
input.
the one people come to ask that question. You're going to be the guy where they go,
Yeah.
"Hey, what about this?" And you'll probably know. So that's fun.
So true. I was going to say after the last question, but I forgot to say this. Um, you mentioned that a lot of people writing into you are so kind. You don't get whack jobs, and they're like, "I'm not sure if my story's good enough." It's interesting
Right.
because a lot of the folks that apply for ASPIC, the instructor certification program, it's similar to that. They are not sure. They're very humble people, not sure if they're, I don't know if I've been an instructor long enough, or I don't know if I have the
That's who you want.
credentials. And the truth, yeah. Oh my gosh. And they're just the most stellar people. The applicants that we have for cohort 8 are mind blowing to me. I mean, it's
Wow.
exciting. It's an exciting group of people. So, okay, two more questions. What is the best piece of firearm or protection related advice that you ever received?
That's really hard. I got to be honest with you, because she did mention very briefly right before she hit the record button. She went through the questions, and I panicked when I heard that one. I'm like, man, there's so many things. Um,
Or what's the one you give then? If it's easier for you to do it this way, what's the best piece of advice you share with people?
that that's easy. Confidence in all the things, as much as you can build confidence. So confidence in the quality and the man, my words are not coming to me today. The status of your equipment, so the condition, I should say, of
Yes.
your equipment. So knowing that your gun is loaded, that it is as clean as it needs to be, that it is lubricated, and that you have a round in the chamber, and then confidence that you have trained sufficiently. You've had all the conversations you got to have. So before you hit the field, as a cop, as a private defender, before you walk out the door, check in with yourself. Am I confident in my firearm? Did I check it? Is it loaded? Is it not? Am I confident in my marksmanship abilities? Do I need to leave my gun home today because I checked in with myself and I'm not feeling okay and I haven't been in the range in 8 months? Am I more of a liability? So that confidence and the checking in with yourself, I think, is hugely important. And that goes for before you hit the road or before you go to a training class or whatever. Know that your poop is in a group. That's the best advice I can give somebody, generically speaking.
You're poop in a group. That should be the title of this one.
Yep.
Um, okay,
Yes.
last question. If you could train with anyone living or dead, who would it be? And it does not have to be in the firearm or self protection space.
That's tough. See, what I would like to do, because I'm a musician as well. I play piano and I sing. My son plays guitar and sings. Carrie's seen us at a, and we're above average. We're not, you
Way
wouldn't
above.
run out of a restaurant if we were playing
No.
music. You'd be like, oh, that's nice. Well, a lot of musicians are not very self aware. So I would love to, I would love to learn more about music and musicality. But in the firearms world, I have don't know that I've ever met, but one person I've consistently heard amazing things about is Gabe White. I've never trained with
Mm.
him, but I understand that he's fantastic, and so I think that would be a lot of fun. Everyone sort of raves about the dynamic nature of his classes and the stuff that you learn, and there's a lot of stuff crammed in to a short space. Is that you've trained with him, right? Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely, without question. I just think he's talk about having your poop in a group. He just not only is he
Right.
all well put together, but his reason for doing it to me is so genuine and authentic and compelling that you just can't help but um, be desperate to learn as much as you can from him. Not only are his reasons great, but then he's a phenomenal practitioner, and he's proven that again and again and again. So yeah, he's a good guy.
Can I add something to that really quick? Because I haven't
Please.
really trained with him, but I did record one of his classes and was hugely impressed. And look, I'm not going to be able to mention Stephanie Widener, John Correa, Neil Widener, all the people that we work with that are fantastic, top notch, top flight instructors. I've worked with them, but Adam Winch has a passion for what he does that is really, really stellar. and I heard him give a talk at the end of one of his very, by the way, very intense classes. If you're not ready to get dirty and roll around in the mud and really, really get after it, don't take one of Adam Winch's classes. But I heard him give a talk, and I won't describe what it was about or anything, because if you go to one of his classes, he might give that talk, and it's better to hear it organically from him. But that talk was so motivational, without being, Friday Night Lights, let's go out there and get them team, just from the heart. I was very impressed with it. And what I said at the time, and I got to readdress it at some point, is that talk should be the first thing every student at the conference hears right off the bat. Like,
Mm.
first meeting is, let's hear this, and let's let that frame our minds for how we're going to view and look at our training throughout the next few days, because it's just great stuff. And Adam's a great guy, and he has a heart for it. And he's also ruggedly handsome, like me. So he has that going for him.
You guys are a good combo. Well,
Can't
thank
help
you
it.
for joining us today. Ms. Frank, we appreciate having you. And thanks for all that you shared with us.
My pleasure. Have a great day.